All right, so we are here with Miss Sharon Johnson, and like I said, guys, it's gonna be a different show today. I'll be interviewing her. She has some things that she want to come on and talk about, and so let's get to it. Sharon Johnson, how are we doing today?
Hi, how's everyone? I'm good. I'm great. Glad to
Good,
be here.
good. Well, why do we have you here this afternoon?
Well, I am here to talk about some things that are here, been happening, and some things that just need to be brought out in the forefront. People really need to know that they are still happening here in America. A lot of people don't believe that they're happening, especially our Caucasian people. And it's sad that I had to experience this firsthand again, especially at my age. I have experienced it off and on, but to experience it like I have lately and just ongoing, it has been very hurtful. And people just need to know it, and we just need to do something about it, especially in the area that I have experienced it in. Folk don't believe it, and it is just out there in a well known area, and people are not going to believe it. But I can tell you it's out there. And so it's just unbelievable. And so I just want to expose it.
All right, so what are we exposing?
Baseball. One of the well-known baseball franchises out there. It's happening in, and it's been whispered about this franchise for a long time. Prior to me volunteering in this franchise, I heard it. But with me volunteering in this franchise, and I can just say the name now since I'm here, it's involving the St. Louis Cardinals. And of course, that would involve MLB, Major League Baseball. And it's very, very surprising that it would be true. But I can tell you, in fact, that it is true because I've experienced it in the last month or so. And I can tell you that it's true. And I will be able to give names, on things that's going on, as well as a live investigation that is ongoing even as I speak. So yes, it's very true, and it's sadly true. And so I just mean to get it out there as a start for right now.
Got you. So you spoke of a live investigation. What's actually being investigated?
Well, what happened, this is very sad, on the 26th of August, first off, I have been volunteering for this company called Delaware North Sports Service, who has a contract with the St. Louis Cardinals to serve all of their food and drinks and just their entertainment part at Busch Stadium. And so I volunteer as a fundraiser for them. I have been there 18 years. I have only missed one day, which was my daughter's wedding day. I even right now have cancer, and I am taking cancer treatments. Throughout the cancer treatments, I have not missed one day. And on the 26th of August, there was another group sent to my stand as a stand manager to work alongside me. During that time, against me, and
Give me one. Hold 1 second I'm gonna give you 1 second while you clear that. Okay. Quick question: Is it a commonplace for outside groups to be added to a stand?
Yes,
Okay.
yes. It's done all the time, because sometimes you can't bring in the numbers that you need to, or that you have told them you would bring in, because sometimes people can't make it on an emergency basis, or sometimes you're just short, and
The
they will send you groups. However, on this particular day, these group, it was four of this particular group, they didn't have anywhere to put this group. And I said that I would take this group even though they were not supposed to work with me. Me being a person that I am, I said that I would work with this group. And there were allegations later on brought, saying that, I guess, I was supposed to have raised my voice at this group. And I was suspended the next day, and subsequently, my entire group was terminated the next week. And after I had gone into work, I was not allowed to talk to anyone. I mean, nobody. After I was given this letter, I was not allowed to talk to anyone. Therefore, I went straight to MLB to get an investigation, because being there for 18 years, I knew that there was some friendships between the Cardinals and Delaware North. So I wanted a fair investigation, because I did know what had gone on, and I was not told anything, and I couldn't talk to anyone. Therefore, I went to MLB to get a fair investigation. So that is what I mean by investigation into what had happened, because no one would talk to me. No
Okay, so
one would talk to me.
I do have a question about how the stands and I guess the staffing is done. Um, so when they put someone in your stand, is it with the understanding that everybody has been trained to do whatever job that they're coming into your stand to do? Or
Absolutely. However, because I am the stand manager, everyone is supposed to go by what I am telling them to do in that particular stand. And immediately, because let me say this to you, that particular group had been in my stand once before, and they were problematic once before. So when they came that time, one of the people had even said, "We're not supposed to work here. We're not supposed to work here." But they had nowhere else to go. And me being the type of person I am willing to work with anybody. I said, "It's okay. They can work here. We can make it work." They immediately began to exhibit non-compliant behavior. There was a level manager in the stand, which is over me. Level managers make sure all the stands are working as they're supposed to work. And because the Cardinals are so hot, everybody had lines, and we were like running into problems with running out of food early. And so she was in there helping us. And I was just asking that everybody remain in their lines to take care of the fans, make sure they're taking their orders and not standing at the windows waiting on food. The food will come. And they were just giving me problems. And, I was just asking the level manager at this time, please take care of them, because I'm waiting on customers myself. So, you don't have time to always go back and micromanage these people with what they don't want to do. You're supposed to be taking care of these fans. But yeah, everybody is trained to work, at the least, to wait on customers and do what you're supposed to do for the fans. That's our number one goal, the fans.
Right. All right. So on that day, if you can recall, were you guys fully staffed? And what happens if you say no?
You mean me, myself?
Yeah, you're staying because I mean, you say they had nowhere to go, and if you say no, then what's the recourse? They just go home, or what happens?
They weren't going to send them home. They had, what happens with the fundraisers, they had committed evidently to work. And so they had actually nowhere to put them, is what that group had told me themselves. And so because they had sent me another group. That day, I only had 4 people. So they sent me another 4 people and a person from a temp agency, which gave us 9 people. Now, we could have just worked with 9 people, but because it was just so busy with the amount of fans that we had due to the Cardinals being so hot. They just put the people in our stand, which gave us 12 people, which my stand is not big for that many people, but they put them there because they had nowhere else to put them, actually. And that's why they put them there. So we didn't need that many people to run that stand, but, with the Cardinals being that hot, they put them there, and I accepted them. They didn't want to send them home, and I wouldn't have wanted them to go home after they had committed to being there. And that's the way it is. They don't want to send anybody home after being committed to working them. So that's the way really it was. So I ended up being, stuck with them really, but that's how it works.
Okay. All right.
So no, they were not slated to work in my stand. They were not slated anywhere, but that's how they ended up in my stand.
So kind of like a overbooking situation, is that?
Yeah. And see, the original coordinator for fundraising was not there. It was only a 3-day work week, and she wasn't there. She was on vacation. So that was another thing that was kind of, difficult for them to handle because she wasn't there. So, yeah, you get the picture now.
Okay. And so you said there was some... You mentioned that there might have been some yelling going on, or some alleged yelling going on at the time, and so that's what they're investigating. Is that correct?
No, there was no yelling going on. What there was that they were just unwilling to do what I asked them to do. Earlier, the sodas all over the stadium had gone down. And I asked everybody not to sell sodas because the carbonation had gone down. What I found out later was that they sold sodas anyway in the form of pink lemonade. And they challenged me, well, the pink lemonade works. No, it doesn't, because everything we sell up there is carbonated except for water, bottles of water. And I had told them, by me being the stand manager, that's what I mean by follow my lead. I know what's going on. And when I went down there, I had to refund people's money because they had sold those sodas in the form of pink lemonade. And when I said no, they lied and said that they were sold earlier when the other group that had been up there said, no, ma'am, they just sold them. So they had gone ahead and did what they wanted to do against my telling them not to do it in the first place. So I said to everybody in the stand, I just made a blanket statement. Please do not sell any more sodas until further notice. And, maybe that's what they call yelling, but I didn't yell at anyone in particular. I said it to everyone. And then I went down back to my line to wait on my customers after I had refunded them their customers their money, and I went back to work. So no, there was no yelling at anyone. I just told everybody, sell no more sodas.
All right. And just so we can kind of paint a picture, this is at Busch Stadium in one of the stands. And so there's a lot of people around. It's a stadium full of people. Is that correct? All right. Yes. And you would say that this incident led to your group being terminated.
Yes. Being suspended first and told, listen to this, before being terminated, I was told that there would be a complete investigation. And I was just told this has brought many concerns and that it would have to be a complete investigation. I said, okay, I don't know what this was then, and I don't know what this is now. But I was told this has brought many concerns. And so we'll get into that about the investigation further. Okay.
All right. So they did the investigation, and what are your thoughts on how the investigation went?
Well, during that week, I didn't hear from anyone. What was strange was I did receive a schedule as usual from the coordinator. And so when I got the schedule, I sent it back saying, okay, got it. I will be there. I got the schedule on that Tuesday. And I said, I will be there as usual. That's how I respond. The Thursday, I sit in my roster for that Friday when they were supposed to return on September 2nd. I sent it in for Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, and I returned on that Friday with some of my people. I'm always early, so when I got there at about 1:30 to 1:45, we went in to sign in. And when I got there, the coordinator looked as if she had seen a ghost. And when I saw her look like that, she didn't even speak, which was unusual for her because we were very close. And she said to me, you didn't get the email from Rory. I said, no, why would Rory send me an email this late? And she said, oh, let me go and get someone. And she jumped up and went and got someone, which was his assistant. Now, this same man has seen me daily out there creating nachos with my people, which is what I do every day. And he came in and he was very, very, very aggressive towards me, not the same man that I had ever seen. And he said, yeah, what can I do for you, Sharon? I said, I'm just trying to figure out what's going on. And he said, well, your group has been terminated. I said, terminated for what? He said, it's all in the email. I said, I haven't gotten an email. And he said, well, your group has been terminated. I said, terminated for what? He said, harassment. I said, harassment of who? It's in the email. I said, I don't have an email, Sean. Well, you've been terminated for harassment. I said, well, who made that decision and who did you talk to? I said, well, can I talk to someone? He told me I couldn't talk to anyone. I said, no one? He said, there's no one for you to talk to. And I said, well, how was the decision made? And he said, we have enough. I said, well, who did you talk to? He said, we talked to enough people. I said, well, did you talk to any of my people? Because some of these people are right here, and I know you didn't talk to them. We have enough. That's exactly what he told me. We have enough. We have enough, and we don't have to tell you anything. That's exactly what he said. We don't have to tell you anything. And he was so rude and aggressive with it, I couldn't believe it. And so when he said that, I said, okay, are you sure there's no one? He said, there's no one you could talk to, no one. And I had on a badge. He said, you can leave your badge. And when I said, oh, I went to give him my badge, and then I saw a security guard. You know, by me being down there so long, I knew all of the security guards. And I said, are you here for me? And she said, well, anytime he talks to someone, I have to be here. I said, I wouldn't do anything. And so he said, you can take off the shirt. I said, well, Sean, I own all these shirts. You guys will have to pay me for the shirts. He said, well, we'll see about that. And I said, okay. And I left. And so no one would talk to me from Delaware North then. I emailed the regional vice president, which is Danny Fetchel, and asked him if he knew about the termination and if he was in agreement with it. That was that night. I have not heard from anyone in Delaware North, and no one will still talk to me. And I got in touch with MLB the next day, which was September 3rd, and filed a complaint against Delaware North to start an investigation. And that is what started the investigation. They brought the Cardinals in on the investigation. And that is how the investigation got started.
So Delaware North did an investigation, but there's still a bigger investigation going on. Is that what I'm hearing?
Yes, because the investigation they did, from what I understand, they only talked to the people of the group that made the allegations. They did not talk. There were 12 people in that stand. The 4 of the group that made the allegations, to my understanding, were Caucasian. The rest of the people in the stand that made up the other 2 groups, and one was from a temp agency, were African American. From my understanding, Rory Schroeder is who wrote me the email to say this has brought many concerns, and he even included the Cardinals, which was a lie. He said that he had to do a complete investigation. He never talked to anyone else in that stand. Because when the Cardinals contacted me on the 13th, I sent over all the names of the people that he did not contact, and every last one of them were African American. So how was there a complete investigation if you never talked to any of those people in the stand, other than the folk supposedly that made the complaint? And today, I still don't know what the complaint was.
Outside of nothing specific, just a general.
Yes.
Just a general.
I don't even know. All I know on the email that terminated me was a charge of harassment. I don't know what it was still. I do not know what it was. And he did not talk to anyone in that stand.
And you still yet to receive the email?
Yeah, I don't know what it was. I'm telling you, I don't know what the allegation was yet. I still don't know what it was. And so the Cardinals finally contacted me on September 13th. They said that they contacted me per MLB because they didn't want me to go to the media. But I found out that the person that's heading this investigation from the Cardinal, her name is Vicki Bryant. Now, Vicki Bryant is the person that Rory Schroeder, the general manager of Delaware North, he reports to Vicki Bryant. I do know that they have been friends for years. And so I have a concern with that. That is a conflict of interest, and it's unethical. So why would they allow a person that Rory Schroeder reports to, and they've known each other for years? Why would they allow that? So I went back and I did a little investigation myself. So I found out that Sports Service has served the Cardinals since 1966. That's 56 years. Mm-hmm. That's a long time. I think Jim Crow was still in. 2 years before the arch was erected. That's a long time. And I went back and looked at how long Rory Schroeder had been employed with Delaware North. So, of course, when I made my report with MLB, one of my concerns was that I didn't want to be investigated by the Good Old Boys Club. Because I didn't want to meaning that I didn't want to be investigated by people that would scratch each other's back and just cover this up and sweep this under the rug, which I know they have a habit of doing.
And it's most likely that could happen. Absolutely.
Absolutely. And I have been in between these two franchises for 18 years, and I have seen some horrible things happen. And they have happened to me up under the tutelage of Rory Schroeder. And some of the reasons that I never brought them out is because I still wanted to fundraise, and you are afraid to rock the boat because these people have so much power. But now that I am out, I have nothing to lose. I have nothing to lose by saying what I know.
Gotcha. And so for those that have nothing to lose, the end game, what would that end game look like for you?
The end game for me would be to hold these people accountable. And because people like Rory Schroeder has gotten away with so much for so long. My first experience with Rory, and this is going to sound like it could not happen. My first experience with Rory Schroeder was in 2008 when I first became a stud manager. Danny Fetcho was not the regional vice president. He was then the general manager of Delaware North. I had made Delaware North $1 million. My shortage that year was only $2,700. He was so impressed with my work. He told his subordinate, which was Rory Schroeder, to give my group back the shortage, which was $2,700. The coordinators of the fundraiser group was Tanea Robinson and Aura. I can't even remember Aura's last name right now. But they were so happy that I was going to get that money back. They told me, you're going to get your money back. Danny Fetcho said to give you your money back. It never came to fruition for years. And I knew that they weren't going to challenge him. People are afraid to go against their boss. They weren't going to go against him. But something happened to where we had to have a meeting. Something very, very important happened. They told me to go to Rory. By this time, Danny had moved on and was getting promoted. And I was verbal. I said, no. I am not going to Rory because I don't trust him. And I was very verbal why. And it got back to Rory. And he came to me and he said, if my boss had told me to give you $2,700, don't you think I would have done it? But here's the thing, is how I know he knew he should have done it. And he knew he was told to do it. When it all came out, he said to me, I look back in the record of the last payment, we overpaid you $2,700. And so I'm going to let you keep that $2,700, and I don't want to hear anything else about it. So there are so many things that I have experienced under Rory, and I'm talking about some things that have been racist, and there are things that can be proven that we might not even have time to talk about. But the end game for this, to me, Rory needs to be removed. He is not the type of person that should be in that position. These are community things. People are out in the community trying to reach other people by fundraising. This shirt that I have on, I want you to see this shirt that I wear proudly.
Tell us about this shirt.
This shirt that I have on is Walking for Kyler.
Mm-hmm.
Rory has a special needs son that we walked for years. I didn't because I'm handicapped. But I did help with the hot dogs. Rory used to get oodles of hot dogs from Delaware North and buns and bottles of water. And people used to walk 10 miles right here on this shirt. They used to walk for his son. He has an autistic son, and that is what they used to do. And it was sponsored on the back of the shirt, all these sponsors. One of the sponsors was Delaware North. And at the end of the day, all the hot dogs that were left, he used to give to the staff and so that they could take home. I don't know how many boxes of hot dogs that were given to him or he used to get for this event every year for a while. But this is the shirt that I am wearing that I still have. And then I couldn't get 2 boxes of hot dogs one year at the end of the year to give my people an appreciation party. And then this man was so quick to terminate my group and not do a complete investigation like he said he would. No, the end game would be for Rory to leave.
Gotcha. Understandable. Understandable. You know, no one likes to be, feel like they've been mistreated or talked down to or done a particular way that is unfavorable. Like, I understand.
Let me say this to you. Let me add this, and this can be proven. They only get rid of black groups there. This can be proven. They only get rid of black groups.
Okay.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
So, about how many groups do you say that? What would you say would be the number of groups or stands that they have up there? Do you have any idea about what that number would look like?
The number of stands. I think they have about, I'm not sure, I think about 40 stands now. I don't know how many stands are covered by fundraisers, but I know this. I know that there are some problems because there was another group that called me, and this was an African American group, to ask me if I was having problems there as well. And at the time, I wasn't. So, I couldn't render any complaints at the time, but there was a sister group that was let go last year just because she had a complaint with the other, year before last, because she had a complaint with the other coordinator. And this coordinator was a coordinator from hell. I had problems with him as well. And Rory came to me and told me that he was getting rid of this group and that he wanted to know if I was with this group. And of course, I wasn't going to say, yes, I was with this group. I wanted to continue to volunteer. And he let the group go just because they complained about this coordinator. And I had this coordinator had made me walk from downstairs up to a stand, and I am disabled and I cannot walk, and I told everybody knows that. And so there are many problems within this organization, even now, even then, with my placard, which I walk more than 50 feet. With a placard, you cannot walk over 50 feet. I have to stop. I had to stop daily. And in order to get to my destination, there are so many problems going on that they just don't address.
So do you feel like they went against the termination policy or over or beyond the scope of what would be deemed something to be terminated for?
Absolutely.
Okay. I guess I hadn't seen what the termination policy would look for, but I'm pretty sure that they give out a handbook to all the groups, and so the managers are well aware of what needs to take place and how it needs to take place in order to continue fundraising.
Absolutely, and what they put in the letter to terminate, neither one of the two items was in the contract. Yeah. Not either one of them was in the contract.
Understood. Okay. All right. And so, has anything taken place since the termination? Like, have you had any other correspondence from MLB, the Cardinals, Sports Service, Delaware North? I know you said no from Delaware North. But
Nothing from Delaware North. And here's the thing that is really crazy. After speaking with the Cardinals, excuse me, after speaking with the Cardinals, I informed the Cardinals that, in fact, I was not the owner of the nonprofit organization, that I had only been the team leader all these years. I have never signed a contract, ever. Mm-hmm. And this was on the 15th of June. I have also requested to talk to Mr. Bill DeWitt, who is the president of the Cardinals, twice. And I haven't spoken to anyone as far as the investigation since the 15th. Okay.
I do have a question for you. I'm sorry to interrupt.
Yes.
Why is it important who is the owner?
Well, he's not the owner. His dad is actually the owner.
For you. Why is it important that you're not the owner?
Oh, because before you let a group go, actually before you even suspend a group, the owner should know, not the group leader. The owner of the group should know, because then that's the CEO. Because then you've done your job by letting the top person know, hey, this is what's going on. Because by right, if there was something going on with me prior to the suspension, they should have let this person know, hey, this person is under investigation. You need someone to come down here and represent the group. Not let the whole group go. This is what's going on. You need someone to represent the group. No, they let the whole group go. Gotcha. So they didn't even contact the owner.
Yeah. So in other words, it'd be like going and telling the Amazon delivery driver that Amazon is about to be shut down instead of going to talk to Jeff Bezos.
Exactly. Oh. Exactly. So then, if they were going to terminate me, then they just should have told the owner at that point, hey, she can no longer come back because of ABC. So you need to get someone else to represent the group. See, you're talking to the owner then. And then I still could have fought this by saying, hey, this is not true. But you let the whole group go on a technicality that has not been proven, because you have not given me recourse. Because I don't even know what the allegations are.
Gotcha.
So this looks very racist, because you take this from these Caucasian people and all the African American people, you don't even talk to them.
Why do you think that was? Why do you think they only took that side of the story and ran?
Because he has a track record for doing stuff like this. Rory Schroeder has a track record for stuff like this. I'm sad to say this, but he does. He did a few years ago. They did a commercial with Channel 2. Me and another fundraising group are the longest standing groups that have been at Busch Stadium. He get a Caucasian group that had only come there weekends sometimes. They make a commercial to recruit groups. I am the most experienced group down there. I can tell him how to do his job, evidently, because he didn't do it right. They get this girl that don't know A from B, and never said anything to us. Now, let me tell you why it's more racist than not. They receive public funds and all of that to do the right thing, and we serve the community. That's why it's important that you be fair. And when we met with them about it, and we met with Danny Fetcher and everybody, and all they could do was apologize and say, we're sorry. See, those are racist practices, and he's used to getting away with them. They did another one. They moved me from one stand, and again, they went against my disabilities. They put me up in a stand where I had to walk. We met about that. I had to walk. I had to stop 3 times to get to this stand. And they made me lose money for our group. And what did they do? They did that in order to put this Caucasian group in there from Springfield. They gave them a layout of snacks and everything up there, just so that they could make this money in 161. When we met about it, I was told by this woman that they put me up there so that the fans would not see my disability. This is stuff that we met about. I'm telling you the stuff that they do.
Got you.
These are things that they do.
Well, that's very unfortunate. I know that like there are a lot of disability laws out there that prevents, discrimination based on disabilities, and in a lot of situations there are accommodations that need to be made, whether it's a something that's physical where you can't get around as much, or there are always some sort of accommodations that can be made or that should be made.
Yes, there are. There are. But when all you care about is money, when all you care about is money and power and the way you look, it doesn't matter. And I'm sorry to say that, I'm beginning I would hate to say, I do not want to believe that you feel like you're privileged, because that is not supposed to be the way it is. When I was down at the stadium, I treated everybody like they were humans. I didn't treat the ushers any different from anybody else on the Delaware North Side. I treated the ushers like we were people all working together to help the fans. That was my number one goal there, to help the fans. That's what we were there for.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Okay. Well, was there anything else that you wanted to touch on while you had this platform?
I want to say, don't let the hype fool you. This is going further than this. This is just the first exposure to the Cardinals, because if they're helping these people cover this stuff up, they are very much involved in the racist practices that Delaware North has been involved in for years. And it seems very much like they are involved in covering it up. And if MLB does not if they don't investigate what the Cardinals are doing in them covering it up, then MLB will also be involved in covering it up, and it will come out, because I'm not stopping. I am not stopping here. This is just my first media outlet that I am taking. I am going everywhere I can go. It doesn't matter, because now what you guys have given me is time on my hands. And that's what I have, time on my hands. And that's where I'm going. That's all we have is time on our hands. And we're going to do whatever we need to do to expose this corrupt behavior. And yes, Rory Schroeder, you need to go, because this is not what you need to do. This is not what you need to do. You have gotten so comfortable with getting away with what you should not do. And this is not what people need to see. And, today is not the day that I'm going to show pictures, but there is a time that if I have to come back on the show, Jason, I will do that. And there are other things that I did not say today that we can do at another time, but I have pictures. I have pictures and I have other things that I can say. But I thank you for this time, for allowing me to just put out just a little tidbit of what I had to say. And this is enough to get it started. So I thank you very much. And for everybody that's listening, this is what I need you to do. I need you to like, comment, and share. This needs to be known. The Cardinal players are great. If the franchise wants to remain great, don't cover up what you know is going on at Delaware North, because you oversee them. Do what you need to do. Thanks, Jason.
Not a problem. We appreciate the passion. And, we're going to do our part in order to make sure that we get this word out. We do appreciate everybody that tuned in this evening. If you have any other questions about how you can help, what is a way? Do you have an email address that you feel comfortable with giving people so that they can help out if they need to reach out to get in contact with you?
Yes, I have two. You're
the most reliable one.
Yes, both of them are reliable. I have mine, which is Sharon, his kid, at AOL.com. And then I'm going to give you the owner's email address, which is IBJ1960 at AOL.com. Both of them can be reached at any time.
And that
anytime.
And that was Sharon, his kid, at AOL.com, and IBJ
1960
at, go ahead, finish that.
AOL.com.
AOL.com. We got two people that still use AOL. Shout out to that.
Yes, we do.
All right. And so, yeah, guys, if you all have any ways that you can help, you don't necessarily have to be in the St. Louis area, even though this is where it's taking place. It may be taking place anywhere else in the world. But if you have any way that you can help out, if you have any other further information that you can use in order to help further this cause, you have those two email addresses where you can reach out to. We appreciate all of it. And, until next time, good people, we thank you, Sharon, for coming on. This was very informative and that was dope. But everybody, you guys be safe out in these streets, and we greatly appreciate you. We are out.
Thank you guys. Thank you guys for listening. It's real. I promise you it's real. Thank you. Thank you, Jason.
Not a problem.